damage to your home or threat to your family. The fire blanket, when family comes first.
Nick, do I still have you?
Yes, you do.
Okay, thanks.
I now call the February 5th, 2026 Senior Citizens Advisory Board meeting to order. Has this meeting been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the Nevada Open Meeting Law?
Yes, it has.
Thank you. Would the Deputy City Clerk call the roll, please?
Chair O'Rear Cameron,
Present.
Vice Chair Graham,
Present.
Member Galati, excused. Member Mosdeen,
Present.
Member Drum,
Present.
Member Lee, excused. Member Tilzer,
Present.
Member Young, excused. Thank you, Chair. You have a quorum.
Thank you, Deputy City Clerk. Item number 3, public comment. Comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. If you wish to be heard, come forward and give your name for the record. The amount of discussion, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed, may be limited. Seeing and hearing none. Item number 4, for possible action to approve the final minutes by reference of the regular meeting of December 4th, 2025. Do I have any amendments or a motion?
Nicole Graham, Ward 1, a motion to approve the minutes from December 4th, 2025.
Thank you. We have a motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Item number 5, presentation by David Ricketts, Navy veteran and fire safety advisor with LV Fires LLC regarding fire safety and preparedness, all wards. You can come forward and state your name for the record, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is David Ricketts, D-A-V-I-D, Ricketts, R-I-C-K-E-T-T-S. All right, so the topic for me to speak on today is in-home fire safety, not just how it affects our seniors, but everyone here in Las Vegas Valley. I do have some handouts that I would like to give to everyone as well. And what these handouts entail is part of our free service that we provide for the community. Since 2015, LV Fires has been a partner with Clark County Fire Department and North Las Fire Department as of the last 2 years. So a lot of times we get referred by the fire departments directly if people do call and request for a speaker to come out and talk about in-home fire safety. And what we do review are the things that are inside that packet there. So as we're in the tail end of winter, we're getting out of the season where we have a lot of carbon monoxide fatalities, and we've had a lot, unfortunately, this winter, especially in parts of the country where they had the severe weather. Here in Las Vegas, what we do see are different reasons why people are going to the ER for carbon monoxide poisoning. Some may be just lack of maintenance on certain appliances throughout the house, such as your water heater, furnace, and ACs. So we just want to bring awareness to the community and different things in the house that can start a fire or create carbon monoxide in the house. So just very briefly, this is some of the slides that we do share with everyone, whether if we're in a group setting, such as Sun City Summerlin or Anthem, or in someone's home directly. And this is a free service that we provide to the community and to residents all throughout Las Vegas. So in the kitchen, where we do point out different fire starters, the main issue that we are seeing, not just here citywide, but nationwide, are the countertop appliances. Most people leave those appliances plugged in when the manufacturers themselves tell you to unplug them once you're done using them. Anything that has a heating element, such as your coffee maker or air fryer, need to be unplugged immediately after use. Unfortunately, over in Sun City Summerlin last year, they had a pretty big garage fire, which fortunately did not result in a fatality. And still today, there is no official determined of cause of that fire. But in every garage that I've gone into in the past 12 years, there are numerous things in every garage that can start a fire, whether if it's tools that are left plugged in, even electric cars and gas-powered cars as well. We just had a gas-powered car fire in my community in Rhodes Ranch 2 weeks ago. It was all over Facebook, just randomly started. Laundry rooms. Unfortunately, we have about 16,000 laundry room fires every year, not just because people don't clean out the lint trap, but they don't do the required maintenance on the back of the dryer. That air vent needs to be cleaned out. So whether if someone is a homeowner or if they rent a house or live in an apartment, that maintenance needs to be done. And I see that all throughout Las Vegas, Henderson, North Las Vegas, where a lot of people are just not aware to little things like that. And bedroom fires. This has been the talk of the town at every national convention that I've gone to for the past 2 years, mainly because of everything that we have in our house now that has a rechargeable battery. Chances are that's a lithium-ion battery. So it could be something simple as our cell phones, iPads, laptops. If these fires start, we have to inform people not to try to fight that fire with your extinguisher or fire blanket. Just get out, because fires like that cannot be stopped once they start for the most part. And they emit horrendous toxic fumes as well, which everyone needs to be aware of. But one of the main types of fires that we do see, unfortunately, all throughout our valley are the electrical fires that do start inside the walls or in the attics. These could be from numerous things, such as ceiling fans, light fans, or wall sockets, bathroom fans. Any of these things can malfunction at any given time. So, but also, we do know that the Red Cross, they are very diligent about their smoke alarm program, and we give them kudos for that. Same with the city of Las Vegas, or Las Vegas Fire and Rescue, they have the same type of a program. But along with being prepared, most people are not aware of the new updates in fire code. Everyone needs to make sure that you have at least one carbon monoxide alarm in your house. And it should be placed lower to the ground, not on the ceiling. Carbon monoxide still is a little bit heavier than standard air, so it needs to be lower to the ground. But also, when I go into homes, I see a lot of people do not have the proper amount of smoke alarms inside their house. If their house was built in the 70s or 80s, chances are they may still fall under old fire code, which means they have one smoke alarm in their house and that's it. And it's going to be in the hallway. So every home that we go into, we make sure that their house is up to fire code, that they have the proper carbon monoxide placement as well throughout the house. But also, biggest thing is, most people don't have a plan. Especially if you have younger ones in the house, you need to make sure that everyone knows how to get out of the house properly, especially if it's a two-story. Sometimes people get trapped upstairs in a house fire and they don't have any way to get out. So we just make sure that we educate families and prepare them for the inevitable, because chances are we're going to experience at least 5 fires in our lifetime, whether directly or indirectly, of people that we do know. So it's just basic things like that we do review with everybody that we visit. We also do give away free fire extinguishers and fire blankets as well. We don't have our complete numbers for last year, but for extinguishers, but for fire blankets last year, we gave out over 700 fire blankets to the community. With extinguishers, it's probably closer to double than that. But we do that free of charge to everyone that we see. We want to make sure that we can help solve the fire problem, and it can be solved with education and with preparedness and planning. All right? Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you so very much. Let me see, let me get your name right. Oh, my name is Linda Young. I'm with Ward 5.
Okay.
And thank you, David Ricketts.
Thank you.
Your information is just so critical, so important. And I ran a school as a principal, and we did this with kids once or twice a year.
Okay.
And y'all bought the fire trucks
Yep,
out and
yep.
put the siren on and everything. And I read perhaps maybe a month or so ago, where a little girl who wasn't in the state, in
Okay.
one of the states, had taken, I guess, your information or information like yours, and saved her family.
There you go.
She was in the second grade.
Okay.
And what the information was like you said, an electrical, woke everyone up. And then, of course, people were trying to, as you say, put it out. And she said no, because you all said no, get out.
Get out.
And she was able to get everyone out, and the dog and the cat.
There you go. Good.
So I guess my point I'm trying to make is as we age and move on, we forget this stuff.
Absolutely.
And the schools are a little bit captive with the kids.
Correct.
But with seniors and people kind of running around, we don't have that. What would you suggest? I'm with a neighborhood association.
Nice.
I could
okay.
probably set something up, but
Yes.
you know, I forgot a lot of this stuff myself.
Yeah, and that's the
I
thing.
forgot a lot of it.
Most of us have. For the most part, what most of us remember from school is stop, drop, and roll. That's the extent of our
Yeah.
fire training.
Yeah.
But unless you go into the military like myself, or was a fireman or emergency services, you really don't do any training on fire training in the house.
No.
When I speak to children I just did a resources fair last week at an elementary school or middle
Yeah.
school, and every child that walked by, I asked them, if you had a fire tonight, if your smoke alarms woke you up, what would you do? Out of all those, probably close to 50 children or families that I met, only one family had a plan. And the mother, she was in emergency service, so she knew, she trained her children, we're gonna practice fire drills every month, and that's what we should do. We practice at school and at work, but not at home.
Not at all.
So we're not as prepared. So we're more likely to die in a home fire than we would in a public facility, unfortunately.
The one thing you said about the lint, with the lint filters on your dryers, I have never done that, quite frankly.
See?
And
Most people haven't.
and when you said that, I go, oh my God. And you're absolutely right. It gets clogged, and we never do anything about it.
Absolutely. And right here on the slide, look at this. This is one of the biggest things that we try to prepare people for are nighttime fires. Most people die in a fire between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. when we're sleeping. So let's say if you go to bed and your fire starts in your kitchen or in your living room or laundry room and your bedroom door is open, the first and fastest way that you can lose your life is through asphyxiation. You just suffocate. The fire's pulling the air out of your bedroom to feed itself. But along with that, toxic fumes and smoke also does go into your room. So that little bit of air that you do have is now tainted. So this is why early notification of a fire in every part of the house is so vital. So keeping that bedroom door closed before you go to bed could be the difference between life and death in a lot of situations. Sometimes the bedroom window is the only escape that you have out, so you have to make sure that you don't have anything in front of it, whether a dresser or on the other side there may be big bushes where it prevents you from getting out. That may be your only escape. So something else that we do give to every family that we visit are these people locator stickers. These go on the occupied bedroom windows to help the first responders identify which windows you would be in.
Oh.
And also, if they have pets, we also give them pet stickers as well for the front part of the house. So this way, their pets can possibly be found in an emergency. So this video I will share with you guys is, to me, the most important thing. It's about smoke alarms, because unfortunately in Nevada, we're not one of the states that has banned ionization smoke alarms. Ionization smoke alarms are the smoke alarms that come with our house. You go to Home Depot, that's what you're gonna get. But a lot of people have no idea that these alarms may not go off in a real fire. Most people complain and tell me every time I cook, I run my air fryer, my smoke alarm goes off. But the thing is, those are designed for a certain type of smoke. The smoke from your food is different than the smoke that comes from your burning furniture. It's a lot different. So this little video will show how these types of alarms work.
Today's homes burn up to 8 times faster. We can have as little as 3 minutes to wake up, gather our family, and escape a home fire.
Mother desperately handing her children to firefighters.
So there's a need for early warning now more than ever. Since the 1970s, smoke alarms have been our first line of defense. But over the decades, there's been a race to the lowest cost manufacturer. Contractor grade or store-bought alarms have been viewed as commodities, and the codes have followed by requiring only the minimum installation, beginning with only one alarm in the hallway for years, then one on every level, and finally requiring smoke alarms inside and outside all sleeping areas. Chances are your home has the minimum smoke alarms required at the time it was built or purchased, and they use the cheapest technology, ionization. It works like this. Ions flow between 2 plates. Smoke particles enter the chamber. The flow is interrupted, and the alarm is triggered. Most people have a false sense of security from the quick response. They cook bacon and don't see any smoke, but the alarm goes off, and they think it would alert them to any kind of fire. But the smoke produced by a smoldering sofa can have a larger charge, be fewer in number, and not interrupt the flow of ions. The result? Your alarm might not sound.
When somebody's like, oh, your house is on fire, you assume that you're going to hear your smoke detector, but they weren't going off.
Due to dead or missing batteries, disconnected or corroded wires, and the life of americium-241 found inside. The deadly failures have been highly publicized. Codes and ordinances have reacted in different ways, requiring more alarms in more locations, then requiring changes to the power, from hardwired units to hardwired with battery backup to tamper-proof batteries. A new standard requiring nuisance testing and a limited lifespan has been written. But manufacturers found ways to pass with software changes. So, the ionization technology will continue to be used, except now, the retail packaging and online marketing can boast meets new standard and smart alarm. And regardless of the quality of the technology or manufacturing, all home smoke alarms will be forced to deactivate in 10 years. With all the new tests, standards, codes, and of course marketing, it can be difficult to decide on the best protection for your family and home. Simply ask yourself, what will the condition of my home be when I find out about my fire? And how much time will I and my loved ones have to escape the fire?
And unfortunately, when it comes to home fire fatalities and injuries, the 2 categories that need the most time to get out, young children and people over 65. They either need assistance or they move slower. I'm 47. I don't move as fast as I did 10 years ago. Most of us don't. So we need to know what's going on in the house as soon as possible, but have a plan, and that's where we can help out. All right.
Deanna or Cameron, that actually was on my list of things I was going to ask you about is, you're hearing you've got 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. Well, that's not going to go well for seniors.
Yep.
I have my bad days, and I have to say, having to use the stairs, when you're on the 2nd floor.
Yes. Yeah. The stuff.
So I'm just curious, when you're making a plan, what type of things would you suggest for seniors then, if time is of the essence? Obviously, the right equipment.
Absolutely.
But
The
how much
equipment-
extra time can that give them, for people who might be listening to this later? That made me panic a little, I'm not going to lie. 3
Yeah.
minutes, I'm like, if I'm in bed,
Yeah.
wow.
And so where it comes to the technology has been around for over 50 years. And Nevada, we were one of the first states to change it for public use. If everyone recalls the MGM fire that we had in the early 80s, we had so many people die. It's not just because of how quick the fire happened and how it moved, it's because a lot of smoke alarms didn't go off. And those are the type of smoke alarms they had back then. We were one of the first states, if not the first, to change the fire code for commercial, properties. So you'll see either sprinklers like we see here, or they're called optical alarms. Optical alarms, they work a lot faster. That's what we carry. But we did everything, our company since 1971, American made, we've done everything that the experts on the federal level have recommended to have your house prepared for a fire. So in other words, having something in your attic to notify you of an attic fire, your garage, your kitchen. It's very important. So we've actually combined all those things together with our Home Safe network, and plenty of people in Sun City have it because they see the value in it and how much more time it gives people. But for us personally, our numbers are in our records. We are still the only fire safety company here in the U.S. that's never had a loss of life due to failure of our products. That in and of itself says a lot. And unfortunately, you can look up every other company. I won't say the names, but look up how many lawsuits they've unfortunately have. And that's why they put the warning labels inside of their manuals.
Deanna Rear Cameron for the record. Now, I understand that you go on and you go into their homes, because I've had plenty of Sun City residents tell me, including David, our own board member, go out and do the assessment and help them out. Now, for the people who do want to move forward with it, because you can also, you don't just assess, you can also help them with the equipment, is what I understand.
Correct.
And so, just for the record, is there like financing, or how does that work for seniors, you know, because a lot of them are on a budget.
True.
And just for my own reference, I kind of want to know too.
So when we're dealing with, doesn't matter if it's a senior or just a young couple that's just starting out financially, if people are financing our equipment, they can get it as low as, I think, $27 a month. So it's not, you know, monthly, it's not that bad at all. But that gives you the earliest notification. It actually gives you your text messaging notifications too. So if you had a fire right now, you'd receive a text message. Or carbon monoxide leak, same thing. So we have everything included in the system, but we also give you extinguishers throughout the house, which you should have at least 2, master bedroom and kitchen, just for everybody's reference here. Because the reason you want one in your master bedroom is if you have a nighttime fire, you have to make sure, especially as a parent, you can get to your children in the house. So that fire may be separating the bedrooms. You don't know where it's going to start. So having an extinguisher can help you get everyone else in the house by having it in the master bedroom too. So we go through everything from top to bottom. The evaluation for a standard house, let's say 3-bedroom, takes 30 to 45 minutes. But once again, it's no cost to you. Plus, we bring you a fire blanket or extinguisher as well, just for your time. My job is to make sure you're safe. And the reason I even started this company in Vegas, I almost died in a house fire at 4 years old. So I take this very seriously.
David Tilzer, Ward 4. First of all, thank you for your military service.
Thank you.
I was lucky enough to have David to my home, and he assessed everything, and we saw everything we were doing wrong. And he points it out in a very nice way. I now have the fire extinguishers. I have the blankets. I have one in the garage and one in the kitchen. I have your stickers on the windows where they have to be.
Good.
And where you'd think there's not that much to know about this type of issue, he points out that there really is. And it's all simple. A lot of it is common sense kind of stuff. And we listened to him. We saw the videos. And we learned a lot, and we listened to it. And we took notes. And we actually made just about all of the changes you had suggested.
Good.
And we appreciate it. And in my ward, I know I'm going to get out to some people there and let them know about this service, and hopefully they'll take advantage of it. And perhaps we could put groups together.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go to individuals' houses, but you can reach more than 1 or 2 people at a time. So I will be doing that from starting
I would
tomorrow.
say between what you're planning on doing and, you know, Mary Fairhurst in your community, she's doing very good with getting me to meet with individual block captains, I believe. So I'll come to everyone or someone's house and have maybe 15 people there, so I can hit everybody at the same time. So, but I've had plenty of churches reach out to us. We come out to churches, HOAs, schools as well. So anywhere where we could be in front of people, that's what I want to do.
Caroline Mosdeen, Ward 6. Thank you, David, for such an informative presentation. There are 3 things that actually caught my attention as well. One is about countertop appliances. I think this is something that we probably all have and do. Never thought to unplug my Keurig or my toaster oven. It seemed that it just goes in the wall and it stays there, and you use it and it works for you. So that was a very interesting, an interesting comment, and I think I'll be starting to make some changes in that. I've never been happy with home smoke alarms from the time that I moved into a house which was built in 2006. I did have a problem with it once and found out that was the first time after coming out of New York, we had a little bit different system. But after coming here, I found out that it doesn't go anywhere. And I'm thinking to myself, if there were a fire during the day, well, it's nice that there's a fire and this alarm is going off in the house, and my pet is not able to get out because they don't know about that sound. So I was never very happy with that. So I called my alarm system back a few years ago and said, what's going on with this? And they said, well, you know, it doesn't go anywhere. So the answer to that was to put it in and add alarms and put them in so that at the very least, it goes to the alarm company.
Correct.
Right now, I'm in the process of, thank you, yes, I was surprised, and maybe other people will be too. I certainly will share this information. I am in the process of building a new home or having a new home built up in the Sunstone area, and there was two things about that. One is I noticed that all the rooms have sprinklers in them. So I'm assuming that's a new regulation. I don't know how effective they are or would be in a fire, but they looks a lot like a hotel room when they've got these little units up on the ceiling. So can you address that?
Yes.
And then the other part of that is I did have the alarm company come in because I wanted to estimate what it would cost to do security, and I reminded them that I wanted the same thing. I want my smoke alarms to go elsewhere. So I just had them last week, and they're talking the same thing as is in this current house, that the CO2 alarm goes in the laundry room, which is right by the garage, but up on the ceiling. Now, you've mentioned it should be on a lower project. So can you tell us, like, how many feet would this go in the wall and about how many feet high that should be?
Correct.
Thank you.
Yeah. So when it comes to carbon monoxide, the quote unquote science has changed over the past 20 years. First, they would say, yes, it needs to be 12 inches from the floor. Then they said it could be 5 feet from the floor. Then they said, oh, it could be on the ceiling. So this science, quote unquote, changes. So ours, we stick with the medium or the center position because whether if it is a little bit heavier than air, but once that AC or the heat's on and everything starts to move in the house, the carbon monoxide basically flows around the house like air. What we see in terms of the quality of carbon monoxide alarms, that tends to be the bigger issue. And our headquarters in Dallas, we're members of so many federal organizations and agencies on fire and carbon monoxide, and I think I left a flyer in there for you guys as well. That's one of them that we're with. There's only 2 companies that I can say that have the best carbon monoxide alarms in the U.S. would be ours, because ours can test at a very extreme low level of carbon monoxide. The most recent that I had, one of our carbon monoxide alarms go off was only at 26 parts per million. But if you read the back of a standard carbon monoxide alarm today from Home Depot, it's going to say it won't go off until it gets to at least 70 parts per million. 70 parts per million after extended amount of time can actually start to have effects on pets, children, and seniors for the most part, at least in the beginning time period, and anybody who's compromised health-wise. When it comes to sprinklers, so new construction code is that all new construction homes have to have sprinklers. Sprinklers only work on one of the 2 types of fires. You have a flaming fire, which is very hot, and that will activate the sprinklers, or you can have a slow smoldering fire, which just results in just a bunch of smoke, and it may not erupt into flames for a few hours in some cases. In that situation, the sprinkler will not work. It only goes off when the ceiling gets to a certain temperature, usually at 135 degrees. And sprinkler systems do require some type of maintenance, whether if it is a soft flush when you flush your master bathroom toilet, or if you have to have the company come on out and do a hard flush as well on the entire system, since we do have hard water here in Southern Nevada.
Thank you. That's very helpful information. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Deanna Rear Cameron, does anyone else have any other questions for David?
So David, I just want to say thank you. And I always consider myself fairly informed, and I give myself about a 20% here
Okay.
out of 100. I mean, I really do. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
typically on things. How do we get this information? Now, is this your company?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Yep, I'm the
Okay.
owner operator.
Okay,
So the
great.
way that anyone can contact us, the easiest way is to go through our website, lvfires.com.
Okay.
You can request just for us to come on out and do a home evaluation, or for me to come out to and host an event. Everything's on the website. For a group event, usually it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks out before we can accommodate that. This is the busiest time of the year for us, but we do try to accommodate as much as possible. So we do have our actual working hours from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m., 7 days a week.
And are you local?
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Okay. And do you do? I'm with the Village Foundation.
No, actually.
Yeah, I'm with the Village
Okay.
Foundation, and so, you know, we have lots of partners, and in fact, we have a big event coming up March the 7th.
Okay.
And I want to get something out to people because this is very important.
Absolutely.
And so I'm going to give you some information, and maybe you let me know how we can do this. And my neighborhood association, we're very into keeping up on things, and so I'd like to do my due diligence and get the word out. I was just thinking, even just my family, my sister and brother-in-law got a beautiful home. They wouldn't know what to do on any of this.
Yes.
And mostly, not only them, but people all around. We do. I mean, I've got my fire alarms put up on the ceilings and everywhere, probably in every room.
Yep.
I have one. But I'm just stunned that this is inadequate, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I'm
You
just
hit it
shocked.
right on the
I'm a
head.
little bit shocked, quite
Yeah,
frankly.
you hit it right on the head. Inadequate.
Yeah. So if I can give you any information and contact the people and
Absolutely.
get some help, I feel as part
Definitely.
of my responsibility is coming and being on the advisory, senior citizen advisory board.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Deanna Rear Cameron, for the record. Any other questions for David? David, I would like to thank you for taking the time to come here and share your information with us. It is recorded and on YouTube, so I'll be sure and get you that information.
Thank you.
And it's something that you can even let people hear or use on your website, whatever you want.
Okay. Thank you.
Because your knowledge is amazing. And that's what I keep hearing out in the community. And we're so grateful because for seniors, this is obviously so vital.
It is.
So vital because of mobility issues. And I think it's just a huge part of aging in place, which is what most people want to do. They want to age out in their home
That's right.
or their apartments if they're living in a building, and this is so vital. And we actually, the vice chair is actually administrator of a building, so I know she knows the importance of every bit of this. And it's just so amazing that you took the time to come educate us, and I'm just grateful. And I'm also having an event the end of this month, so in case you need to remind me and follow up with me, that I would love to have you out. It's on the southeast side, and I know you pretty much work the valley, correct?
No, I work all over.
All of it?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Because they're 55-plus homes, and I know they need to have you in there.
Absolutely.
So we can get you in the event and then follow up with an educational event after.
Okay. All right.
Because I want to make sure I don't have any more stories of seniors. I can't, I just can't.
Yes.
I can't. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate
Thank you. I appreciate everyone. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's so amazing. And now we go to item number 6, report by Olga Flowers. Actually, it's Gregory Gray today, filling in for Olga, Community Program Technician regarding senior issues received through the Health and Wellness Initiative, all words.
Gregory Gray, for the record, we do not have anything to report at this time.
Thank you. Item number 7, report by board members regarding senior issues and events within their council wards and at large, all wards. And first we have Ward 1, Nicole.
Hello, everyone. Nicole Graham, Ward 1. No real big updates for Ward 1. I know we've talked about many times making sure we are all part of our Ward 1 newsletters that come out, but there's also a newsletter that comes out with the arts and cultural. So please make sure you are in tune in looking at those. There's tons of events that are going on, and the arts and culture is a great one as well. That's it.
Thank you. And Ward 3, we have Jennifer.
Hi, this is Member Drum. On January 14th, I attended with Councilwoman Diaz. She hosted bingo with the City Impact seniors at their facility there. It was beautiful, great participation, had a good time. On Tuesday, I attended our first Tuesday with the Downtown Area Command, and the presentation was by the FBI, and part of the presentation covered elder fraud. There were some really good points that the FBI agent brought up, which I just want to share really quick, of ways that we can protect ourselves. If you get an email from somebody that you don't know, and there's links in there, don't click on the links, because that is a way to quickly let somebody take control of your computer without your knowledge. There's a lot of double check. So people are getting phone calls that they need to give money or gift cards or something to help a grandchild or somebody else in the family. Verify with somebody before you do that. That's a lot of scams that are going on. One other thing to know, if you're getting random phone calls from people asking for money, you have the power to hang up or just not even answer that call. So keep that in mind. There's good information available at fbi.gov/elder fraud. And then if you have anything that you need to report, another website to go to is I as in ice, C as in cat, the number 3.gov, and you can report fraud there on that website. It was very informational. And then upcoming, Councilwoman Diaz will be at some Lunar New Year festivities with some of our senior living places this month, later in the month. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ward 4, we have David.
David Tilzer, Ward 4. We're continuing to hear about senior scams through Medicare and Medicaid. So we implore people to please continue to monitor your monthly summaries from these two and make sure that your summaries reflect only the items and services that you're getting. On Saturday, January 3rd, I attended the Police Appreciation Day at the Memorial Park in Summerlin. I met with a bunch of senior groups that were represented. Seniors Helping Seniors was one of them. And there was a representative there from a group called MORE, M-O-R-E. It stands for the Multi-Agency Outreach Resource Engagement. It's a direct service for seniors that need help with various items. Instead of getting all different types of runaround from different agencies, this is one that you can go to direct. I have a bunch of their cards that I'll give to the members of the board here, and as needed, they can give them out to the people that they represent. And then finally, on Monday, January 26th, there was a presentation called Slam the Scam in Sun City. We had speakers from the State Criminal Investigation Division, Metro, the State Contractors Board, and very interestingly, from the manager of the Wells Fargo Bank. Our Wells Fargo Bank in the area that covers Sun City, they're now having their tellers and people that work there question any large amounts that are being taken out by seniors for the only reason to make sure that it's not part of a scam where somebody's asking for a lot of money quickly, and then they're losing it. Over 350 people attended. I would like to thank our chairperson, Aurea Cameron, who did attend, and she knew every one of the speakers there, and I'm sure should we need help with any assistance from any of these departments, they really look forward to helping her and us. So I appreciated her coming, and I think it was a great morning. It was a lot more people than we thought would show up. They kept bringing out more chairs. There were people standing in the halls, and it was very interesting. So we have a few things going forward. I do have some flyers here that I'll give to the board members. And that's it. Have a lovely month. Thank you.
Thank you, David. And Ward 4 would be also myself, Deanna Ware Cameron. And the event, I want to start with that. So absolutely wonderful to see so many older adults come out for this information. And what it said to me is the need is great. The amount of abuse and the amount of scams is over the top right now in our valley. It was so wonderful to reconnect with some of the speakers that I hadn't talked to since before the holidays because of schedules. And we are definitely going to be doing a lot of events through seniors and law enforcement together to really get the information out, because yes, you have a lot of people who come out for these events, but what about the ones that are isolated? We go back to that story just like we have for a very long time. So we're putting our heads together, all of the agencies, so that we can see how we can address this in a better way moving forward, especially when we're telling them not to open emails or answer calls. It's the same thing that Gregory and I went through during the pandemic. We did such a good job of telling them to be careful, but then when we need to reach them, we can't. So it's time that we all put our heads together for solutions in that and be able to, you know, like the seniors helping seniors, get seniors to help by telling their neighbors, bringing the information to their neighbors. So, you know, things like that so that we can get that taken care of. The Slam the Scam was just absolutely amazing. And I did talk to the Sun City Wells Fargo branch manager. I'm in there all the time. That's my bank. And I was there at one point, probably 6 months ago, when a senior was in there and was talking to one of their people. And she kept saying that her daughter was following her, that her husband had recently passed away, and that she thought her daughter was, you know, after the estate, etc. And I did hear someone say, I'm not saying it was, you know, someone that works there, but someone said, you know, she's been doing this a lot, and we think after the passing, you know, her cognitive whatever. And my thing is, though, we can't always assume it's cognitive, because these things are happening in our community as I speak. So rather than assume that, I made sure that they got her on the phone with APS. It was a long hold wait, so I had to leave, unfortunately, because I had an appointment. But I did address it with them at that point and just told them and gave them my card and said, if you see this happening, even if you have to call my cell phone, because we don't want to just release them. Like, look outside, see if you see anybody that looks suspicious, you know, especially if you're going to be a branch right there in Sun City. And they were so warm and welcoming about it. So it was so wonderful to see them there, to take the extra step. I don't always see the banks there at these scam things and actually talking. So I thought that was beautiful. I have had 3 cases just in 1 week alone recently. All of them elder abuse. One was the governor-appointed attorney who has spoken to us prior, and she actually was getting involved in a case that was elder abuse, and luckily she did exactly what needed to be done. But then the senior was left with needing food to come to their home, and that seems to be a difficult resource right now also. It's about getting people to pantries, but in her case, she's a caregiver for her son, and this senior is 102. So we can't expect that she's going to be out on the roads driving. So they were looking for check-ins and food to be delivered. So it sent me down the rabbit hole again, realizing we just don't have enough of those resources for the amount of people. We have resources, but they're slim. So there's a great need there. The other 2 abuse cases were almost identical. They were both nieces that were abusing the elders, and one of them, there was no POA. The aunt had just helped, and it was right there in our Sun City. And so I did once again get Shauna involved. She and I make an interesting team lately. And, everything had been done properly, getting the protective order, but waiting for the protective order to be served. This beautiful senior was so stressed. And she's like, I'm going to need counseling now. And then it really hit me because I do counseling. So it really hit me just how far these scams are really just changing lives. It's not just about what the person has done with the house, with the money, etc. It changes what's going on in their mind and their everyday living moving forward. And I'm seeing one too many of these where family's involved. So when you're out there and you hear something, don't ever assume the person is just saying something. Once again, just like at the bank, always get more information. I know David, before we started the meeting, he checks in with one who recently, is widowed. And it's things like that, because if the family's involved, but yet they see people involved and eyes are on the situation, it may help. They may not take it as far. They may not go further with it, not to mention, then we can turn it in just for them to look, right? Adult Protective Services can at least take a peek at the situation before it goes so far that the senior doesn't even want to speak because they're afraid. In the state of Nevada, they have to speak up. And if they do not, there's not a lot we can do. And it's really sad, but it is a truth. So if we can nip it in the bud sooner. I have a lot of other things I can talk about, but for the interest of time, I'm going to move on. And so next we have Ward 5, Linda.
Thank you so much. And always, these are such interesting meetings. And I'm always amazed at the information I don't know. And if I'm supposedly knowledgeable, what's happening to others. Anyway, thank you so much for that. That whole statement that says knowledge is power. Even for seniors who tend to feel like their power has evaded them, having knowledge about these things really does elevate not only the cognitive part of what we do, but also the social and the connective part. So this is really important. So thank you all to the staff people for what you do. It's very important, and don't think it's not being noted. The other thing I would just want to say for many of us to know is to grow. We tend to think also that as we age, we don't grow anymore, and that's not true. One of the things that I wanted to do, and we're working toward that, is pulling together our partnerships between the churches, particularly in Ward 5, and the different entities and organizations such as mine, which is the Village Foundation, and the different homeowners associations and neighborhood associations. So we're looking at doing that. And one of the groups we're working with or moving toward is the Martin Luther King Senior Citizen EOB of Clark County with Byron Goins and that whole group. So Mr. Gray, you and I, we're going to work together to do that connection. And the Doolittle Senior Citizen program as well. So we're kind of getting started and moving in that direction, and would love to partnership with some of you all on some of your programs and even come out. But we think it's really important, such as what David Ricketts just provided for us. I can't tell you how many people don't know about that. And it literally will save lives. The only thing I'd like to add with all of this is that we are looking at providing more information for awareness of seniors with limited income to be able to improve their homes. No matter what you do with your homes, they do require maintenance. And if you don't provide the maintenance, it gets worse year by year. So we're looking at finding and I think there's some of that out there, we just have to do a little more research, of finding what the churches and some of the other organizations can provide seniors, maybe 40, 50% discount or something to help maintain their homes with limited income. So that's kind of the thing, the direction we're going on. And if I just can finalize this, is that we're thankful to groups like what we have here, our Senior Citizen Board. Thank you for what you guys do, but this is important work, and we want to continue and elevate the work. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. And for Ward 6, we have Caroline.
Thank you, Caroline Mosdeen, for Ward 6. Nancy Bruni, our council's Ward 6 councilwoman, at her town hall recently, she had a speaker from the Las Vegas Water District, Doa Ross. And the town hall was well represented, all age groups, of course, but many, many seniors. I was surprised to see that so many seniors came out in the evening, and they certainly took part and wanted to hear about, excuse me, about the water situation we have here. And they had many good questions to ask. And I wanted to mention that if any of the other wards have an interest, I would certainly suggest that you get in touch with Doa Ross to ask her to speak before your at your one of your ward meetings or town hall meetings, or ask your council person if they could make that arrangement. Because there were a lot of questions, of course, about in Ward 6 about the new planned community up towards Kyle Canyon that had a lot of interest, but people living here, we all have the same kind of feeling. Oh gosh, how can you build so many homes when we have such a water shortage? So this was explained thoroughly by Doa about how this works and how, because of conservation, how we are actually using less water than we did many years ago because of the conservation efforts of our city, our state, our city, and our residents. So I would encourage everyone to try to get that so we can dispel misinformation and get it on to good information. Other than that, I have no other report at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline, and I'm sending you lots of healing. And now we have item number 8, discussion regarding next steps and future meeting topics of the Senior Citizens Advisory Board, all wards. I know, Chair Cameron, we have had a lot of discussion in the past, and I have been really trying to get our speakers in those directions for us. And so if there's anything else that anyone would like to add. Gregory.
Gregory Gray for the record. In light of the comments from Member Tilzer and Member Young, I think it may be pertinent to have one of the administrators from Neighborhood Services come in and discuss more about the MORE team and the services that they provide, as well as the SHIFT program, which is the Safe Home Improvements Funding and Training Program, which is geared to help low-income vulnerable peoples and families with home improvements. So we can definitely have them come in and talk about that program as well.
Perfect. Deanna Rare Cameron, for the record, do you want to work on that for March? Okay. Okay, perfect. And then I'll tell anyone I had to later in the year. I think that's wonderful because it's been a while since we've had more team here, actually. And so an update would be great because I know they helped me with the homeless situation. And they really helped me to understand when to call who, when to call them versus when to call Metro, because that was something I really didn't know. And we had a really bad repeat offender that they can't get a handle on. And so she comes around every now and then, but I know how to handle it now, which is beautiful. So that would be wonderful. Does anyone else have any other discussion on any next steps or future discussions?
Have we had any discussions and over the years, and you and I've just been here a little under a year, about what they call service dogs? These are dogs or animals that help people that have physical, sometimes even emotional, they got support, and even just in the shelters where seniors may sometimes feel a little bit lonely. The shelters sometimes have just some encouragement for those that tend to be inclined to stay in, to perhaps think about adopting an animal and helping to support the animals who are sometimes having to be euthanized because no one picks them up. Is there just any discussion about that? And support staff, support for those people who do take on an animal, who feel like, I'm just me and I don't know what to do. If there was a support team around, I would do that. So just something like that. I did an animal. I pulled one out of the shelter, and we're just good buddies, Freya and I. We're good buddies.
I know.
But it's
I
a lot
love
of
it.
work, though. It's still work. People need to
Yeah.
know about that.
We have had brief discussions on it. I will look into who would be a great speaker on the service dogs, especially understanding the laws regarding them and best use, so to speak, of, a service dog, because they are very important. And I know a lot of the associations do have speakers that talk to them, like Lung Association, Heart Association, ones where people definitely have conditions where they utilize the service dogs. As far as other resources, I do have one rescue. I love rescues. That I am in the works of right now, doing some events this year called Seniors for Seniors, because the senior pets are the ones that unfortunately tend to not get adopted. And then I can also talk to them about taking it a step further. I know I'm not sure, I need to do homework on it, but there was an association that was helping with the food for seniors with pets. So I need to see if they're still in existence or not, because that was mainly during the pandemic. And I do not recall if they are still doing it. I know, I haven't heard anything either. So that's perfect. I'll look into that speaker and the food, and we'll put our heads together here, chair and vice chair. We'll get our resources together, since we're both in the industry, and find out, who would be best for that, because I think that would be amazing. Because first of all, when they're isolated, it's a problem, and having a pet really helps with that. It actually helps with their cognitive too. So I think that's really beautiful. So we'll look into that for also speaker down the road. That's a wonderful suggestion, Linda. And is there any other discussion regarding any next steps?
Carolyn.
Yes, Caroline.
Caroline Mosby, Ward 6. I would just like to also just remind people about the Nevada, excuse me, about the Power Shift by Nevada Power. They do offer a free bundled appointment, and there's many things that people can get from Nevada Power that they may not be aware of, and it's a free assessment, an energy assessment. So at this time, going into the hotter weather when we use so much electric for our air conditioning and things of that sort, they offer the free thermostat and free installation for that, and some other customized savings depending on what your home needs are. They do provide some light bulbs and things of that sort, which can be expensive for seniors, but they can provide some of those for you at little to no cost. So if anyone is interested, don't forget to contact Nevada Energy for that type of assessment.
Wonderful reminder. Thank you. Any other discussion on next steps or future meeting topics? Okay, item number 9, citizens' participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the board. No subject may be acted upon by the board unless that subject is on the agenda and is scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, come forward and give your name for the record. The amount of discussion on any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed, may be limited. Do we have any citizens' participation? Seeing and hearing none, our next Senior Citizens Advisory Board meeting will be on March 5th of 2026 at 1 p.m. Thank you. We are now adjourned.